hot mom, desperate for clicks, plans a fake kidnapping of her own daughter. But wouldn't you know it, things go completely sideways, throwing curveballs she never saw coming. Before all the drama, En and her daughter, Kathy, were running a social media channel together. With Kathy's bright, adorable smile, the two of them became a beloved mother-daughter influencer duo. But behind the glitzy facade, their real life was a million miles away from what everyone imagined. One day, their management company asks them to live stream to sell a hair curler. Originally planned to do the live stream alone, she was confident that as a single mom, she still had her own appeal. However, the company insists that Kathy must appear with her. The reason? In this famous mother-daughter duo, it's Kathy who's the draw, not En. The company also decided to choose Amy, a former member of a girl group, as the brand ambassador for the hair curler. The management team can't stop praising Amy's confidence and charisma. For them, the brand ambassador they need isn't a busy mom with a life and family, but a brave and radiant woman, and feels resentful. She thinks that if she changed her hairstyle, clothes, and touched up her photos a little, she wouldn't be any less appealing than Amy. But even her manager bluntly throws a bucket of cold water on her. This person says frankly that without Kathy, no one would care who En is. That's the harsh truth of the internet age. The next day, the two of them pass a shopping mall and see an advertisement outside. They find out that Amy is holding a book signing inside. The daughter wants to go see her, but En refuses. Turns out, she and Amy used to be acquaintances. Watching Amy leave surrounded by fans, En's eyes are filled with resentment again. Because her mom didn't help her get Amy's autograph, Kathy says some harsh things, saying that her mom only does things that she wants to do, and feels wronged and pours out her feelings in front of her daughter. She says that she has to be busy every day doing housework, earning money to support the family, and staying up until midnight to edit videos. She's also human. Not everything can cater to her daughter's wishes. But Kathy gets even angrier and has a big fight with her mom. The scene before their eyes is completely the opposite of the heartwarming videos that fans usually see. Actually, En has another daughter named Lily. Lily and Kathy are twin sisters. However, unlike her sister, Lily is an introverted and shy girl who struggles to express herself effectively in front of the camera. So, at home, she always seems quiet and doesn't get much attention. Every time she argues with her mom, Kathy's only emotional support is her younger sister. That night was no exception. Kathy confides in her sister and even helps her with her makeup. Even though the two sisters have opposite personalities, they can always care for each other when it matters most. The next day, when Kathy gets to school, she discovers that someone has posted a video of her from when she was a child. The person who posted the video also intentionally added words to ridicule and insult Kathy as a child. Without hesitation, Kathy throws a bowl of curry all over the classmate who posted the video. Soon after, En also sees the video online and finds out what happened to her daughter. To get justice for her daughter, En furiously goes to the student, threatening to sue him in court for all kinds of crimes and warning him not to bully her daughter again. Thanks to this incident, the two of them reconcile, and promises her daughter that this live stream selling hair curlers will be the last time she accepts advertising contracts for her daughter. To avoid online attacks, Kathy has always wanted to shut down the fan page. The next night is the hair curler live stream. However, after coming home from school, Kathy suddenly cuts off her long hair and stubbornly locks herself in her room. It's almost time for the live stream, and En, in a drunken stupor, has to go live alone, in front of the camera, and shares her pain and hurt about being a mother. She realizes that for a long time, ever since her children were born, she hasn't been able to live as herself anymore. In her drunken state, En ignores her manager's warnings and escapes into a secret base in the house. That's her own personal shelter. Whenever she's bothered by her children, En retreats into a mental world that belongs only to her. A fan asks her if being herself isn't good, and replies that it's not good. But after becoming a mother, whenever she faces anything, the first people she thinks of are always her children. Fortunately, thanks to En's crazy drunk act, this live stream unexpectedly becomes a huge success. The hair curlers are all bought up by mothers. Watching their mom on the live stream, the two daughters are silent for a long time. In reality, they've always known that their mom has sacrificed too much for them. This live stream also makes En feel a sense of loss. She is a mother, but she also used to have dreams. It's just that her dream was stolen by someone else. When she was a teenager, Anne and her friend Amy used to practice together in a dance troupe, hoping to one day debut as members of a girl group. During the training process, Anne always encouraged and helped Amy when her friend fell behind. In the final competition, Anne was chosen to become a member of the girl group. Unfortunately, not long after, while driving for Amy, Anne accidentally caused a fatal accident. Since then, Anne had to go to jail, and her dream of being a star was completely shattered. When she got out of the correctional facility, she saw that her less talented friend Amy had replaced her, joining the girl group. For Anne, that feeling was like having her dream stolen. Now, after many years, Anne contacts Amy again and brings up the past. She doesn't blame Amy for the accident that year. What she blames is that after the incident happened, as a friend, Amy never faced it with her. Now, even Anne's old catchphrase has been stolen, becoming the inspiring chicken soup for the sole quote that Amy writes in her book. Anne's heart is filled with resentment. She wants to take back the life that belongs to her, to carry out her plan to reclaim her life, and begins a secret operation. This plan requires the cooperation of her daughter, Kathy, and plans to stage a fake kidnapping of Kathy, then use this incident to make herself the center of attention. The manager also knows about the plan. Under the manager's arrangements, Kathy is planning to temporarily stay in a hostel. Later, Anne will participate in a TV show and will announce that her daughter has been kidnapped live on air. Amy is also participating in the show. On the show, Amy takes center stage, promoting her new book, and then announces the good news that she's pregnant. Under the stage, Amy's husband brings up a cake to congratulate his wife. Suddenly, Anne stands up and knocks over the cake. Immediately afterwards, it's time for Anne to show off her acting skills. According to the plan, Anne announces that she has received news that someone found her daughter Kathy's blood-stained school bag. After saying that, Anne pretends to be very worried and hurriedly leaves the studio. Because of her actions, the focus of the show immediately shifts. Afterwards, under the manager's coordination, the news of Kathy being kidnapped quickly climbs to the front pages of newspapers. Seeing the news, Lily hurriedly contacts her mother, but is told by her mother that it's all just a plan. On the same day, Anne intentionally pretends to be grief-stricken and reports the case to the police station, then plays the role of a pitiful mother in front of the media. Next, she starts a live stream, giving a brilliant performance to thank her fans for their support. Even the manager can't help but exclaim that Anne is indeed a natural actress. Lily is a little angry, blaming her mother for not telling her about it beforehand, as if she's the superfluous person in the family. But in the manager's eyes, Lily is the happiest child in the family. Her mother and sister have protected her very well. But Lily doesn't think so. When she was little, when her sister first became famous online, she was harassed by a photographer. At that time, Lily was the one who accidentally witnessed everything and told her mother. Knowing that her daughter was bullied, Anne was furious and vowed to sue the photographer in court. Because of that, the photo shoot and the contract with the magazine were canceled. After the photo shoot was canceled, Kathy blamed her younger sister for meddling, even though Lily's initial intention was just to help her sister. And now, Lily tells the manager that she also wants to help the family. But in this house, it seems like no one has ever asked for her opinion. In front of the live stream camera, Anne tearfully plays the role of a kind mother waiting for her daughter to return. Unexpectedly, in the middle of the live stream, a viewer sends a video and opens it and discovers that it's Kathy setting up a teacher. In the video, Kathy is harassed by a teacher. However, in reality, the so-called harassment seems to be intentionally arranged by Kathy. Kathy asked a classmate to record a video of the teacher intending to assault her and used it to blackmail the teacher for $50,000. When the setup video is released, the situation in the live stream room suddenly reverses. The fans' sympathy immediately turns into suspicion. Completely helpless, and has to end the live stream early. Public opinion quickly erupts, and Kathy is also labeled a liar, and takes the video to the police officer. The police officer firmly affirms that the setup video has been cut and edited, and is also convinced that her daughter, although rebellious, would definitely not do such evil things. However, the police officer reminds Anne that Kathy may not be what she thinks she is. Turns out that based on Kathy's list of friends that Anne provided, the police officer contacted them and finally discovered that each friend on the list only has a social relationship with Kathy. According to classmates, Kathy often makes up stories about her friends and then tells them to her mother. However, even though the police officer says so, and still doesn't believe that her daughter is different from what she sees that night, and starts a live stream while going to the house of the teacher who intended to assault her daughter. However, the teacher is not at home. The manager also appears to stop in, hoping that she will investigate everything clearly before taking action. Lily has watched her mother's live stream. Similarly, to protect her sister, Lily is determined to do something. She still remembers that after the photographer harassment incident years ago, although her sister said some harsh things to her at first, the three of them still hugged each other in the end. That night, Lily, who is not used to facing the camera, practiced nonstop and finally uploaded a self-made video. In the video, Lily condemns the keyboard warriors who don't know right from wrong, demanding that netizens stop hurting the sister she loves the most. After Lily uploaded the video, many netizens had positive responses. In an instant, Lily replaced her sister, becoming a new internet celebrity who is noticed and surrounded. Seeing her daughter's video, and feels very comforted. She praises Lily for doing a great job. While the two of them are talking, Anne's mother suddenly comes to visit. As soon as her mother arrives, the house once again falls into chaos. When she was young, Anne's mother was a somewhat famous ballet dancer, so she had very strict requirements for figure, diet, and all other aspects, especially towards her daughter, and she always has something to be dissatisfied with. This time, she once again says things without the slightest consideration. In her eyes, her daughter is just mediocre and doesn't have anything special about her. If it weren't for her granddaughter, Kathy, no one would bother paying attention to Anne. Anne's mood plummets to the extreme. It seems that in her mother's eyes, she's completely useless from head to toe. Back when she was practicing ballet, her mother was also extremely strict with her, even never buying her a birthday cake because she thought that, compared to controlling her figure, birthdays were insignificant. While dealing with her mother, Anne is still in contact with the manager. The manager brings good news. Anne in Kathy's social media account has just surpassed 200,000 followers. The bad news is that Amy mentioned the setup incident on a live stream, saying that Kathy did this, and the mother who educated her should take the main responsibility. Amy's words once again plunge Anne into memories. She and Amy used to be the best of friends, practicing together, giving it their all for their dream. And at that time, a guy named Dae-gun was their mutual friend. Back then, they had dreamed of a distant future, hoping that each of them could turn their dreams into reality. Currently, the police officer in charge of Kathy's disappearance case is Dae-gun. Dae-gun has determined the last location where Kathy's phone signal appeared. It's a log cabin in a remote area. That day, Dae-gun goes to the log cabin and meets the homeowner, a middle-aged man. While the man is talking to the police, Kathy, inside the house, is trying to call for help. It turns out that Anne's plan has gone wrong, and Kathy's fake kidnapping has accidentally become real. The day before, Kathy was supposed to stay at a hostel according to the plan, but on the way, she was actually kidnapped by a man named Lao Fong. Lao Fong's son, Xiao Fong, a classmate of Kathy's, was forced by his father to take on the task of keeping an eye on her. Right now, discovering that the police have arrived, Kathy tries to call for help, but unexpectedly, Xiao Fong covers her mouth and nose from behind. Because of this, Dae-gun was unable to discover that Kathy was hidden inside the house. To prevent Kathy from escaping, Lao Fong has tied her up tightly, saying that he's doing this for her own good. In fact, Lao Fong is a hardcore fan of Kathy, has been following and stalking Kathy for many years, and knows everything about her. To completely possess Kathy, he doesn't hesitate to beat his own son, ordering him to make Kathy willingly stay. Kathy has been constantly trying to escape, but the door of the room has been locked with multiple layers of chain, and the girl can't escape. With no other choice, Kathy can only beg Xiao Fong to help her. She asks him to let her go and promises not to tell anyone about this kidnapping. However, because he's too afraid of his father, Xiao Fong refuses. 2 days have passed, and Kathy refuses to eat or drink anything. Lao Fong goes crazy and beats his son again, scolding him for not trying his best to keep Kathy there. Even though he's been treated badly by his father, Xiao Fong actually has a sincere, unspoken affection for Kathy. In the past, to carry out the kidnapping, Lao Fong even arranged for his son to attend the same school as Kathy, forcing him to intentionally approach the girl. However, gradually, Xiao Fong was actually attracted to Kathy. He can't forget the moment when Kathy stood up to help him when he was fighting with a classmate. Meanwhile, Lily is running around everywhere because of her sister's setup incident. So, she contacted a female classmate. This female classmate is the one who collaborated with Kathy to film the video to blackmail the teacher. However, at this time, that friend seems to be afraid of something, so she refused to stand up and defend Kathy. When she gets home, Lily finds the original version of the setup video in her sister's computer, and she discovers that the first person to release that video was actually her mother's manager. Lily goes to find the manager to question him. The manager admits it, but doesn't show any fear. He emphasizes that he did it all for Anne's influencer career. The reason he cut and edited the original video was to attract attention and create hype. Also, with the goal of clearing Kathy's name, Anne and Dae-gun go to see her old friend Amy. In front of her husband, Amy is very friendly and enthusiastic towards Anne. However, as soon as her husband leaves, Amy reveals her true colors, questioning Anne why she came to find her, and has used Dae-gun to threaten Amy. That year, after the two girls lost contact, Dae-gun always thought that Anne chose to disappear because she failed in the girl group selection. And now Anne requests to be a guest on Amy's livestream show. She not only wants Amy to correct her previous inappropriate remarks, but also wants her to speak out to clear Kathy's name, using her fame to clarify the rumors targeting her daughter. To keep the secret about stealing her friend's dream, Amy has no choice but to agree to cooperate. A moment later, Anne secretly makes a phone call to the manager, but is overheard by her mother. Realizing that her granddaughter is not missing, she plans to drag her daughter to the police station. However, to keep the secret, Anne doesn't hesitate to heartlessly tie her mother up in the house. At the same time, her daughter Lily returns home. She happens to witness her grandmother being tied up. The grandmother calls for help, telling Lily that Anne once killed someone. Lily is shocked and hurries to ask her mother for an explanation, and only says that after everything is over, she will tell her daughter the whole truth. Without any hesitation, Lily chooses to trust her mother. She shows her mother the original video of the setup incident. After watching it, and discovers that Kathy did it to help a female classmate who was being harassed by the teacher, so she set up that trap. The reason she cut off her long hair was that the beastly teacher had touched her hair. That night, during her live stream with Amy, Anne publicly shares this video, clearing her daughter's name. However, after the live stream ends, Anne secretly talks to Dae-gun, Amy's husband. It seems that she intends to reveal Amy's secret from the past to him. After learning about what his wife did in the past, Dae-gun is very surprised and goes to meet Anne. He tells her about his wife's unspoken pain. Many years ago, after they met again, Amy was drunk and told Dae-gun that someone like her didn't deserve to have friends. Dae-gun has called Amy many times, but on the other end of the line, she rarely talks, only remaining silent in loneliness. Dae-gun believes that Amy is not a bad person. After stealing Anne's dream, she has always had to live in remorse and guilt. He hopes and can forgive Amy, believing that after so many years, Amy has suffered enough punishment in the torment of time. The next day, the manager posts a video of Anne dancing when she was a teenager online, immediately causing a storm. Netizens are all praising Anne for dancing so beautifully. The show host asks Anne if she feels regretful that she wasn't chosen for the girl group that year. Anne smiles, praising her companions from that year. After Dae-gun's words, she no longer holds onto the past. However, in the middle of the show, the teacher's wife runs in to cause trouble, accusing Anne of being a murderer. In the wife's eyes, her husband's car accident was caused by the setup video of Anne's daughter. Knowing that the manager himself found this woman to put on a show, and blames him for acting without her permission, this will hurt Kathy. To protect her daughter, and terminates her contract with the manager. Tomorrow is the day Kathy is scheduled to return home, and contacts Kathy, but discovers that the messages Kathy has been replying with lately are all the same. Dae-gun investigates and finds out that Kathy never checked into the hostel. At this point, Anne realizes that Kathy must have encountered something. To escape, Kathy lied to her kidnapper, Lao Fong, saying that she had been sexually assaulted by the teacher in the setup incident. To avenge Kathy, Lao Fong disregarded the consequences and drove his car into the teacher. The teacher was injured and taken to the hospital, his life hanging by a thread. Knowing that Kathy lied to escape, Xiao Fong feels resentful of his father. He tells Kathy that his father could never hurt her, and even values her more than his own son, him. To clear up Kathy's misunderstanding of his father, Xiao Fong reveals the knot in his heart. It turns out that years ago, Kathy's mother caused a car accident and killed Lao Fong's daughter. That was more than 10 years ago. After his daughter passed away, Lao Fong originally intended to avenge his beloved daughter. So he took a sharp knife to the park where En and the little Kathy appeared. But that day, when he saw little Kathy about to fall, Lao Fong instinctively caught her. Before that, Lao Fong's wife had gone to a fortune teller, and the spirit had told the two of them that Kathy was their daughter reincarnated. And so, from that time on, Lao Fong treated Kathy like his own daughter. Today is Kathy's birthday. Lao Fong decides to throw a birthday party for his daughter, believing that after today, Kathy will be reborn and return to the arms of her father, him. But at the same time, because he has feelings for Kathy, Xiao Fong decides to secretly let her go. On the birthday, Xiao Fong buys balloons, uses them to cover the camera in Kathy's room, and then gives her a knife. Next, they just need to wait until his father goes out, and Kathy will be able to take the opportunity to escape. Kathy cooperates with Xiao Fong's plan, pretending to have accepted the truth. She hopes Lao Fong will untie her, because after all, today is her birthday. To give Kathy a complete birthday, Lao Fong agrees. Immediately afterwards, Kathy asks Lao Fong to buy her a birthday cake. He happily agrees as well, taking advantage of the time his father is out buying the cake. Xiao Fong tries everything he can to crack the door lock. But unfortunately, Lao Fong quickly returns home after buying the cake. With no choice, Xiao Fong and Kathy have to pretend that nothing happened. And Lao Fong doesn't seem to notice anything unusual either. In the evening, Lao Fong throws Kathy a lively birthday party, unaware that his son, Xiao Fong, has secretly returned Kathy's phone to her. After the birthday party ends, Xiao Fong and Kathy signal to each other. Then, Xiao Fong rushes over to hold his father tight so that Kathy can quickly run away. Kathy breaks through the door and rushes out. Lao Fong immediately gives chase. In the darkness, Kathy calls her sister for help, but ironically, her sister doesn't answer. Following this, Kathy is captured once again. Lily is completely unaware of her sister's situation. Today is Kathy's birthday, and it's also Lily's birthday. When choosing the cake, her mother told Lily that she had to learn to put herself first. So, for the first time in her life, Lily chose the cake that she liked, not the flavor that her sister liked. Without her sister, Lily has finally become the sole focus of the family, and is still arguing with her mother. Over the years, her mother has always been harsh and even humiliated her, and hopes that the two of them can let each other go from now on, hoping that her mother can accept her true self. But her mother refuses to compromise. She is disappointed in En, and that's the truth. Kathy's escape fails, and she is recaptured by Lao Fong. At this point, En informs Dae-gun and starts investigating her daughter's disappearance. Right at that moment, Kathy starts a live stream. This is due to Lao Fong's coercion. He wants Kathy to see clearly what a terrible mother she has. In the live stream, Kathy recounts what her mother has done to her over the years. Behind the famous mother-daughter influencer duo, there is actually the fabrication of a mother who doesn't hesitate to hurt her daughter. The truth about Kathy's personal information being leaked, and her life being bullied. Kathy frankly says that such a mother is really terrible. After the live stream ends, Lily provides a clue about Xiao Fong. Before the incident happened, Lily used her sister's phone to contact a friend online named Xiao Fong. After that, Kathy met with him. Dae-gun predicts that Xiao Fong may be related to the kidnapping. Lily's grandmother says, bluntly stating that if something happens to Kathy, it's all Lily's fault. Hearing her mother say that, and hurriedly tells her daughter to go into the room. Her mother ruined her life, and she won't allow her daughter to be ruined, too. Lily tells her mother that she didn't answer her sister's call last night. She just wanted to have a birthday that was only for her, and doesn't blame her, but hugs her daughter tightly. At Lao Fong's request, Kathy opens another live stream. This time, she will expose more of her mother's actions and even wants netizens to vote on whether En is qualified to be a mother. Not long after the live stream starts, Kathy asks her mother to read aloud the messages that a netizen sent to her but were ignored, and complies, reading each line of messages from Lao Fong. In the messages, Lao Fong points out En's shortcomings as a mother. For example, when Kathy went ice skating, she intentionally didn't let her daughter wear protective gear. To build a cute image, she didn't allow Kathy to cut her hair short, etc. In addition to those things, Kathy also reveals the story of when she was sexually harassed by a photographer when she was little. Afterwards, her mother not only didn't get justice for her, but instead chose to reconcile with the magazine, thereby earning more job opportunities for her daughter. When Kathy exposes everything, netizens start voting. Not surprisingly, 80% of netizens criticize and thinking that she is a terrible and irresponsible mother. However, Daegun has learned from the magazine from back then that and didn't report to the police that year for her daughter's future. She was worried that this matter would cause a stir online, thereby affecting her daughter's future. Daegun also found the photographer from that year. This person is now a vagrant in the subway station. Pointing to the settlement agreement, he recalls and says that the stains on it were because he was signing her name while crying that year. To retaliate for terminating his contract, the manager also starts a live stream. He points to a childhood photo of Kathy. Netizens all think that the girl in the photo is very cute. But in fact, at that time, in order for Kathy to be able to take that sunscreen advertisement photo, her heartless father asked her daughter to stay in the sun for several hours, to the point that the girl was almost dehydrated. When the manager's live stream is released, the curses from netizens targeting and become even more intense, and therefore calls the manager, hoping that he will stop. But the manager pours all his anger onto An, thinking that An is just like his mother, not a good mother. He shouts that as children, they never needed mothers like that. The attacks from all directions plunge An deep into despair. At the time when she is unaware, her seemingly cold mother is actually secretly helping her. She has contacted her divorced ex-husband, who is also An's father, hoping that he can stand up and listen to his daughter talk. However, An's father is now involved in politics and doesn't want his daughter's affairs to affect his election, so he hurriedly hangs up. At this point, her mother, still appearing cold, brings lunch to her daughter, reminding An that she doesn't have the right to collapse now. To save Kathy, Lily takes it upon herself to run to Xiao Feng's house, resulting in her being kidnapped by Lao Feng. While tied up with her sister, Lily reminds Kathy not to be influenced by Lao Feng. Their mother loves them very much. However, as each past event is revealed, Kathy is no longer sure whether her mother loves her or not. Kathy hopes Lao Feng can let her younger sister go, but Lao Feng declares that Lily cannot leave, because the next photo to be released in the livestream is also related to Lily. It is a photo of a fire. One day when she was young, Kathy's house caught fire and didn't take care of her daughter, but instead photographed Kathy crying. Even more shocking is that Lily had just been rescued by firefighters at that time. An's attention was completely focused on taking photos, wanting to use this to gain views and attention without caring about her daughter's situation. Faced with her daughter's questioning on the live stream, An admits that she did it to earn money. There was no other way as a single mother to support her two daughters. She had to find a way to make a living. In front of the camera, Kathy continues to question her. She wants to know what her mother was thinking when she took that photo, and explains that at that time she was cheated by the manufacturer to sell fake products, and was sued by netizens. Before the fire happened, she didn't even want to live anymore. When the live stream hastily ends, An's heart is in extreme pain. From the beginning until now, she has only wanted to give the best to her two daughters. But she doesn't understand why being a good mother is so difficult. At this time, the person who is comforting An is her mother. Under her mother's care, An regains her spirit and goes live again to respond to Lao Feng. Yes, maybe she isn't a good mother, but the fact that she loves her daughters will never change. So, from now on, she will not cooperate with a kidnapper who is harming her daughters. After their mother's livestream, Kathy and Lily have cast aside their last doubts. They are both certain that their mother, although she has her shortcomings, is definitely good. And under her mother's encouragement, An confesses on the live stream the secret about causing a fatal accident in her youth. In the past, she always wanted to try to hide this secret. But after becoming a mother, she realized how painful the mistake she had made was for another family. Hearing and admit it herself, Lao Feng is extremely agitated and sends a message demanding An to come alone. Her mother is worried about An, advising her to remain calm, but An cannot be calm. As a mother, she cannot live without her children. An's attitude towards her two children reminds her of the past. Many years ago, her boyfriend left and she was pregnant. Her mother arranged for her to study abroad. As long as she got rid of the baby, Anne's life could start over. However, Anne didn't listen to her mother's advice and insisted on giving birth to the child. For Anne, the existence of her children is not a curse, but happiness. Now, Anne's mother has gone to meet Amy, and under her arrangement, she has accepted an interview on a television program. Other guests on the show constantly question and mock Anne's hypocrisy, believing that a mother must inherently contribute and sacrifice. Anne's mother refutes that dominant view. Mothers are also human and have dark sides to human nature. Like her towards her daughter, she has also felt annoyed and disappointed countless times. Anne's mother even bluntly says that if she were given a chance to choose again, she would never have given birth to a child. At the same time, Anne goes alone to Lao Feng's place, reuniting with her two daughters. During the argument, Lao Feng heartlessly shoots and injures his own son, and bandaged Xiao Feng, while Lao Feng holds a gun and questions her, whether she regrets giving birth to her two daughters. Faced with Lao Feng's questioning, Anne admits that she has indeed regretted being a mother. For her, failing to be a daughter, failing to pursue her dream, and failing to be a mother. But no one has ever taught her how to be a mother. Over the years, she has been groping her way forward, trying hard enough to become a good mother, but is still judged by the world and the outside world. However, no matter what Anne says, Lao Feng remains stubborn, even wanting to take everyone down with him. To protect her daughters, Anne desperately tries to stop him, but is shot in the chaos. Taking advantage of that opportunity, Xiao Feng manages to subdue his father and seize the gun, and doesn't want the boy to do anything foolish, so she tells her two daughters to leave first, while she stays to persuade Xiao Feng. Years ago, when she was pregnant and had met Xiao Feng's mother in the hospital, that woman didn't resent Anne for the car accident. On the contrary, she placed her hope on her second child, who was pregnant. She hopes that her unborn son can be peaceful and happy in the future, and not bear the pain and suffering of adults. Under Anne's persuasion, Xiao Feng finally calms down and chooses to let his father leave, and hugs the sobbing Xiao Feng. At that moment, Xiao Feng seems to see the image of his lost mother. That night, the police surrounded the scene, and Anne and Xiao Feng are taken to the ambulance. Everything has finally settled down. Just like Anne's mother mentioned in the program, humans are inherently a contradiction, and so is love. No matter how dissatisfied or disappointed she is with her daughter, the love hidden deep in her heart has never been absent. And after experiencing this incident, Anne's mother hopes that if there is still a chance, she wants to have a good start with her daughter. In the days that follow, Anne tells her two daughters about the car accident years ago, the grievances with her best friend, and the misunderstandings with her mother. To protect her children, Anne has chosen to withdraw from the influencer world. Now, she helps her mother shoot dance tutorial videos, spending peaceful, happy, and tolerant days with her two daughters. The movie comes to an end here. Okay, that's it for today. Welcome to like, comment, and subscribe to the movie channel.